History. Brandon. For the first time in history, an LSU, a former LSU pitcher, has won the Cy Young. Paul Skenes, it's just been announced that he has won the Cy Young unanimously, by the way, won the Cy Young award. You know, if you ask me, in all the times that I remember of watching LSU, I don't know if I ever have seen with my eyes a better person, a better player to ever put on the uniform for LSU baseball that is more talented than Paul Skenes, in my humble opinion. There have been legends. There have been GOATs. There have been Hall of Famers. There have been so many great players that have graced the university that we all cheer for that have been elite. If you're asking me my opinion, as of the night on that Paul Skenes unanimously wins the award that is the Cy Young, I don't know if there's ever been anybody better. You know, year one, Paul Skenes was the rookie of the year, deservingly so, on a really bad team. And then this year, he was the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. And guys, only a short couple years ago, he was on the mound for your team, winning a national title, which, by the way, in a 3-game series, you didn't even need him, even though he was warming up in the bullpen just in case. Because if you ever needed to open up the chest to Paul Skenes to find out what he's made of, well, I think we all know what he is made of. I am so proud that right here that we have a helmet that is signed by not only Paul Skenes but Dylan Cruz. One of the greatest gifts that I've ever been given in my life is this thing right here. And it's got Paul Skenes' signature on it. And I will forever be grateful for him for that, because he is the best pitcher that I have ever seen. And with my eyes, humanly being there without a doubt. Congratulations to Paul Skenes. He deserves it because he's the greatest pitcher, in my humble opinion, in the entire world. And he played for your team. Nevertheless, we're live. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages, you're watching us, listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Every AYS show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. We are proudly partnered this football season with our good friends over at FanDuel. Do us a favor, if you have not done so already, download the FD Sportsbook app. If you like to place bets, if you want to place bets, college football, NFL, hell, if you want to get a bet in for who might be next year's Cy Young Award winner, as Paul Skenes just won the Cy Young. The number one place to do that in the state of Louisiana is with our good friends over at FanDuel. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details, and you can get all of those answers there. But for us, we're gladly powered and gladly partnered with our good friends over at FanDuel. You know, I start off tonight's show asking you 3 main questions. Number 1, where are you watching from tonight? Are you in the 225, the 337, the 504, the 985, the 318, 31 great? Or are you not in the state right now, but you are representing the state from somewhere else? That's the first question I have for you. The second question I have for you, who do you want to be the next head coach of LSU? I ask you in the chat, so who do you want? Put it inside the chat. That is the second question. I am really intrigued to see who everybody wants as the next head coach for LSU. But the third question I ask you is something that I have been getting hit over the head with all day long that I simply don't agree with. Guys, it has very much come to my attention based off of post, social media post, and everything that is going on, that fans of LSU, at least the vocal fans of LSU, have let me know that they believe that the media of LSU, myself included, has been, quote unquote, doing more harm than good when it comes to the firing or that thereof when it comes to Brian Kelly. You know, I brought this up a couple of times, and I hope that a lot of you that watch this show, you watch it because you feel like that when you come here, whether you agree or don't agree, that I try to tell you what I think the truth is, or if it's sourced information, what the actual truth is. Because I got to ask you a question. Why do some of you believe that the media is making this worse from a local perspective than what it is? Because I look at this situation. We did not do some of the things that Brian Kelly allegedly did, that LSU said that he did. We did not fire him. We did not say that we weren't going to pay him the $53 million and try to make this more of a circus. We are not in a governmental entity that is going on Pat McAfee, making it worse than it is. We're not doing any of these things that constantly come up. And to the LSU fan out there that keeps saying, oh, man, you're making this worse than it is. Guys, people around the country nationally are covering this just like I am. But you're making it worse. No, we're not. Lane Kiffin doesn't come and watch AYS and say, well, Blake Ruffino said this. At least I don't think that he does. More than likely he doesn't. Marcus Freeman doesn't watch AYS and say, you know what? Blake Ruffino is really doing a lot of damage to LSU. People around the country look at this and already think that's going on with what is happening at LSU is a complete dumpster fire. It's our job, it's my job to come out here and tell you what I think. And I challenged every one of you who said today on any one of our posts that you believe that the media that covers LSU is making this worse. So you're going to have to explain to me how you think that the media sued LSU. Brian Kelly's the one that sued LSU, and you think that we're not going to talk about it. You think that those things don't get clipped and put on social media. Guys, it's our job, and every single one of you that is an LSU fan, I guarantee would love to be in a chair like this to talk about your favorite team just like I do. Don't act like that you would not want to come out here every night as your main job to talk about your team. But you guys are the ones that are making this worse. Are you retarded? And I probably should walk back that comment. I apologize. Are you crazy? I look at this situation and say to myself, every single time that something comes up, LSU fans are looking for somebody to blame. And right now, if you look at any one of the posts that we have on social media, there's an abundance of people blaming the local people who are on this beat every day, covering this team every day, giving you the information that you want on a day in, day out basis. And because you're trying to find someone to blame because Brian Kelly sued LSU, because LSU said that there were things out there that he did that they should have fired him for cause, because that team and coaching staff went out there and got their teeth kicked in, we didn't do any of that. There's not one thing that we did that prompted any of that. No, you know what some media people like myself did? They raised money for Brian Kelly so that he could have a good team. And he didn't. He didn't. Saying the truth just because you don't want to hear it doesn't make it worse. Sometimes somebody's got to tell you what the truth is. And the truth of the matter is, if you sit in the seat that I sit in, if you had the conversations that I have, if you pick up the phone and listen to some of the things that I got to listen to on a day in, day out basis, you would say, we could be in trouble here. Like when you're reaching out to head coaches and they don't really want to talk to you right now because you've been dysfunctional, if you had a really good source that was telling you that, you would say to yourself, uh-oh, but you blame us for it. It's not my fault that Jeff Landry didn't have a plan. It's not my fault that Scott Leward allegedly lost his temper and fired Brian Kelly without getting board approval. It's not my fault that he keeps running out there saying stuff and politically appointing people that align with him to do what he wants. You know, I counted before I went on Ruffino and Joe's show, and I've seen more since I've came out here. 172 comments or tweets or posts about how the media, and myself included, is harming LSU. Guys, LSU's doing a really damn good job of that right now. If you think when all of this chaos happens because you want everything to just be swept under a rug, newsflash, Peter Pan, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. So just because mommy and daddy got a divorce and you don't really want to talk about it because you don't want to go through it doesn't mean that they're not going through the divorce. It doesn't change anything. Everybody can see with their own eyes what's going on, and everybody else is reacting to it, yourself included. None of you should look at this situation and say to yourself right now that LSU sits in a good spot. Can they overcome that in 2 weeks? Maybe. But it's not just local guys who are telling you before the national media gets a hold of this thing, which, by the way, they have. Like last night, as an example, I came out here and said, this morning on the YouTube members only chat, I came out here and said, which I strongly suggest that you go and subscribe to the members only content on YouTube. And I told you there, which I will tell you again here, guys, LSU's kind of going through it right now. They're posting videos to calm you down by saying, this is LSU. Yeah, it is. Behind closed doors? No, it's not. They know it. Can they change that in 2 weeks? Guys, look how much has happened within the last 2 weeks just at LSU. So as bad as things have gotten, can things change around and them go get a premier head coach for this university? Absolutely. No one's saying that they can't. But at the same time, when you constantly have chaos and you have one of the biggest voices in the sport, 24, 48 hours later, saying the same exact thing and getting it sourced that the local media is, then what the fuck are you talking about? Just because you don't want to hear the truth doesn't mean it's not the truth. So 170 plus comments. Blake, you're ruining and hurting LSU. No. LSU's doing a really good job of that. I love every single one of you. I do. But I'm not going to rest on my principles about what's actually going on to make you feel better. It's not my job to make you feel better. If you want to feel better, go to a massage parlor. Drink a beer. Drink a whiskey. Hug your kids. Hug your wife. Hug your mom. Do whatever that makes you feel good. Play PlayStation for all I care. Rub one out. I don't care what you do. Pause. But the truth is going to be talked about on this show, whether you want to like it or not. All right, let's get moving here. Drunk Vigo, I'm not entertaining that. Jeb became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Jeb. We posted some new content there. Kind of pulled behind the curtain a little bit about some things that I am hearing. If you want to be a member on the YouTube channel like Jeb, well, you can do it. Ricky Bertrand also became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I humbly appreciate you both becoming members on the YouTube channel. Stephen Fry, good friends over at Fry Construction, with some laughing face emoji, says, my guy, look, man, it's not my job. It is not my job to make you feel good. It's not. My job is to tell you the truth. And if you want to hear the truth, then stay. If you don't want to hear the truth, go somewhere else. Because all we're going to do here is tell you the truth. Guys, Jeff Braun was on your hot board. He was on that little list that everybody was talking about. He's going to sign a contract extension. If you don't want to hear that, that's on you. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I am not and refuse to not tell you the truth about what's going on. Oh, well, you're hurting LSU. Then guess what? Bring your happy ass to Best Buy, go get a microphone, get a computer, and do it yourself. I love this place. I've given my life for this place. The food that goes on my children's table, or my table, the food that I provide for my children is based off of me covering this place. Don't you dare tell me that I don't love it. Don't you dare. You're harming it. No, nobody said, guys, last thing, do you understand? Do you truly understand what LSU said yesterday to Brian Kelly's attorneys? They literally told him and said to them that they fired him with cause. Meaning, they are saying that he did something that was against his contract. What is it? And we're the ones that are making this worse. On Monday, I came out here and said, pay the man. Let this stuff sweep under the rug and move on. LSU didn't do that. They didn't take my advice. Well, Blake, it's a lot of money that they have to spend. So, yeah, the good thing is to drag this out in court and lose, because you're probably going to lose. Fine. I think you're going to get to a settlement anyway. But I think it's funny that those same 173 people, whatever the fuck it was, who I said, okay, what did I say? You know, there's this bot account on Twitter that apparently loves Will Wade. And they said, yeah, you've been hurting LSU. So which I respond, okay, well then what did I say? I'm not going through it. I don't know what you said. Exactly, you didn't know what I said. Guys, either you want to hear the truth or you don't. If you don't want to hear it, I suggest you go rub one out. Let's get moving here. Everyone do us a favor. Hit the like and share. All right. We've got a couple more members on the YouTube channel. Chase Abear, along with Wayne and Patrick, all became members on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. There's some YouTube members only content that we posted today. Jesse O'Neill says, reading the good book and watching AYS makes me happy. You make me feel bad with all the bad language that I've been saying. But yes, go. That's a good one. You know what? Go read the good book. Go read the good book. Don't go to that massage parlor. Don't go to the massage parlor. Read the good book. Jesse's right on that. Thank you, Jesse, for the super chat. Let's get moving here. What are some things LSU's got to do to beat Arkansas? We talk about that next. I got to throw one coaching hot board carousel thing at you. Carter Bryant joins us in a minute. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
Right. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. It does that every single time. It does that every single time that we come out of a break. I don't know why it does that. I have no idea why it does that. Quick high board update. Jeff Brom of Louisville is probably and more than likely going to sign an extension. Listen, the truth of the matter was, whether LSU ever wants to admit this or not, Jeff Brom was going to be on the hot board that you were of coaches that you were looking at. Whether anyone agrees, disagrees, things that I have been told is that Jeff Brom was going to be on the board. I don't know where, of coaches that you kick the tires on to see if he would be the next head coach of LSU. He's going to sign a contract extension with his alma mater in Louisville. I think Jeff Brom's a really good coach. I think he would have done and can do really good things here. He's a really good play caller. I think he's one of the better play callers in the country, to be quite blunt with you. But he's going to stay at his alma mater. That is where he grew up. That's where he wants to stay. I do not blame him. I think that Louisville, for him and him wanting to be at home, is a big deal for him. In all of that, I say this. I do think LSU is continuously kicking the tires on a lot of people. Some big and massive programs, some small. Guys, I do wonder how this thing is going to shake out. Is LSU going to have to wait behind Auburn, Florida, Penn State before they hire their next head coach? I know that, as I saw in the chat from earlier, a lot of you want Lane Kiffin as your next head coach. And guys, I'm right there with you. I would not mind it. But if LSU misses out on Lane Kiffin, do they take a massive swing at a guy like Marcus Freeman? Marcus Freeman coached and was a part of a national championship game at Notre Dame a year ago. Blake, there's no way he's leaving Notre Dame. There's absolutely no way that he's going to leave the Midwest to come to LSU. You very well may be right in that. There's a very strong possibility that he's not going anywhere. There's also a possibility that LSU might say, yeah, that might be the case, but we're still going to kick the tires on it. You know, in sourcing circles, in media circles, the current rumor, and I say rumor because I cannot confirm this, is that 2 weeks ago when the situation with Dan Lanning came out. Blake, what's the situation? The situation with Dan Lanning is that On3 reported that Dan Lanning's buyout at Oregon is $20 million. The reason that I have heard through multiple people that I do trust was that LSU kicked the tires on it. LSU said to themselves, hey, we keep hearing about this massive buyout with Dan Lanning, this $20 million buyout that's tied to a building and Phil Knight and all this stuff. Is that even legit? Well, I think LSU got their answer. But it doesn't mean that if they miss out on Lane Kiffin, that I think some people that do have a lot of money, that do have a lot of power, are just going to sit on their laurels. They're not going to sit on their hands and not try to take another big swing. And guys, the only other realistic massive name that is out there that quite frankly has gotten some interest from LSU people is Marcus Freeman. Does Marcus Freeman come out here tomorrow and say, guys, listen, I appreciate Florida, I appreciate Penn State, I appreciate LSU. I appreciate all three of those universities and institutions for thinking so highly of me that you would love for me to come coach at your great universities. But the interesting thing that has been going on here with a guy like Marcus Freeman over the last 10 days has been when the Florida talks started to see of any interest with Marcus Freeman, a statement came out and saying, yeah, I'm not interested. Same came out with Penn State, and it was massively reported on. Why not LSU yet? Now, LSU could be used for a little switch and bait here, meaning, hey, man, LSU's calling. Remember what happened the last time that LSU came calling for one of your coaches? To give him a massive extension at LSU, or to give Marcus Freeman a massive extension at Notre Dame. Very plausible. And that's the game you play when you go into these coaching searches. But I say to myself, Marcus Freeman was pretty definitive that he did not want to talk to Florida. He was very definitive in saying that he didn't want to talk to Penn State. LSU's open. What's taking so long? Now, he very well may be using LSU as a bargaining chip, and he very well may tell LSU behind the scenes, yeah, man, I am not coming. And that's a plausible reality. But as this continues to go on, and some of these names on these lists, like Jeff Brom, which now looks like to John Summerall, who may be going to Oregon, as those names, and you start marking lines through some of those names, is Marcus Freeman one of those names that you're trying to circle to be your next head coach? Everybody and their mama's going after Lane Kiffin. He is the ribeye steak of coaches. And I know Carter's coming on here in just a minute, and he'd say the filet mignon, yuck, no way. Does LSU take a massive swing at a guy like Marcus Freeman? Are they able to land? I think if LSU got their way, he would definitely be one of those coaches that's in those mix. All right. We were going to get to LSU do's and don'ts, but Carter Bryant is here, and I am not going to let him wait because there's nobody that really talks and has more knowledge about Arkansas more than him. So let me do this. Let me get to a quick break. Carter the Power Bryant joins us next. Stay with us.
Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month, and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to the website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by.
We're back. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
I have an extra ticket. You want to go to the game this weekend?
I do not.
And get spicy? Battle for the golden boot, baby?
I could care less about that damn boot.
But you care about the game, though.
Yeah, I care about the game. I don't care about the boot. I mean, if you're going to ask me, Arkansas is not even in the top 4 of rivals that I would think for LSU.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think most LSU fans would agree with you on that. Now let me ask you this.
I consider A&M, Ole Miss, and Florida as a bigger rivalry for LSU than Arkansas.
I think most fans hate definitely Ole Miss more and definitely Florida more. If you're talking about visceral hatred, Florida's probably number one, which is why it's number one for me.
I'm listening to you. What
yeah.
is going on behind you right
I
there?
don't know. I didn't do anything. It is weird because I have fireworks in the green screen back. I just went like this.
Do it again.
I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I know if I go like this, it'll give a thumbs up. You see, I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's fireworks every time.
That's the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But I wasn't able to listen to the opening portion of your show. So, but you did bring this up on Sunday night on my program, and also we've discussed this in the past about redshirting situations. What say you about the Michael Van Buren?
Am I coming through fuzzy to you?
A little, but
Okay,
it's no big deal.
All right, hold on. Stand by. Stand by. I don't know why it always does this after break. Stand by.
I know. I'll be here by myself. That's fine. Let's get to a few of your comments. We say hi to Mike. We say hi to Fred. Michael. Robert.
All right,
Robert
we're back here. I don't think I'm fuzzy.
Crystal clear, man. You put some CeraVe on your face?
That. I don't know why it always does that. All right. In reference to Michael Van Buren in the red shirt.
Has your opinion changed?
No. What was my opinion on Sunday?
You said you just play. Just play it out.
Okay. Well, I thought I was making sure because I was like, well, hold on. What did I say? I said last night, I said it to you on Sunday. I'll say it again. If he were my son, I'm telling him to play. Because I got to be real with you. He is better than Garrett Nussmeier right now.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have an opportunity to show the world and show America and show the country that you deserve to be the starting quarterback at LSU. I understand. I mean, if you fold right now, that opportunity goes away.
Yeah, but if you were in his spot, and let's just say you weren't, and obviously you look at things objectively as I do, but let's just say you weren't an LSU fan, and you know that there's going to be a new regime.
Carter, what would I say here that the season doesn't matter?
Yes, so that would be more reason for him to sit out and say, look,
I see it the opposite way,
and that's fine. Well, that's why you have me on here. That's why.
Yeah, I see it the complete opposite way. Because what if he balls out the next 3 weeks? God forbid you get in a bowl game and he balls out, and the coach is in the press box doing an interview, and you go out in a bowl game and you ball out. Yeah. You know what? If Garrett Nussmeier would have done that, there's a strong likelihood that they don't go get Jaden Daniels. Now, I'm glad that he didn't, and I'm glad that they did go get Jaden Daniels. But at the same time, I got to be real with you. This kid can play, and it's about time that LSU fans and LSU media got past that. The best two throws that you've had on this season, maybe other than the Barion Brown fade route throw from Garrett, came from Michael Van Buren on the drive against Alabama and the throws to Chris Hilton and Barion Brown.
Oh, those are good rips. Yeah. They're great rips. But I do think though, if for some reason he decides, hey, I'm sitting out these next two. What was that?
I wouldn't blame him.
Yes. I do think from an LSU perspective, you don't need to call him selfish, and you do need to respect this decision in this situation. Now, if we were in the middle of a playoff run, or we were in the realm of the potential playoff, then, yeah, you'd be extremely selfish.
Well, Brian Kelly wouldn't be fired, and he probably wouldn't – I mean, there would be no context behind him sitting.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the situation is totally different. And, you know, one thing Van Buren would say, but he would never say is, well, if you guys really needed me to play while the other guy was struggling, why didn't you put my ass in earlier? You know, so – I totally understand.
You know why.
Yeah, but I totally understand, though, his side of it if he decides.
Yeah, but Carter, I got to be real with you. Reps are reps.
And I'm with you. But in terms of reps, yes, game reps are the single most valuable resource you can have at the quarterback position. You know, there's nothing you can do to replicate that. It's different if you're a pitcher in baseball. You know, you can have throwing sessions, right, that – and you have a gazillion games to choose from. Quarterbacks, it's the most scarce thing. And Michael Van Buren was given a really good opportunity last year to step in, and that's how he got to where he is right now. If Blake Shapen never got hurt last year, he never would be in the spot that he is
He
now.
wouldn't be at LSU.
Yeah. So he could look at it as like, hey, this could be a God thing that I'm here, I'm given this opportunity, and I might play so well that whoever the next LSU coach is, I'm going to be the guy for him. But I also
you can't cower down. You cannot cower down. You can't. You got more of an opportunity. It's more of an opportunity to go out there and let it rip. But here's the thing, though. Let me say this. If Frank is going to play both of them and rotate them out, I'm sitting.
Yeah, I think that.
So to your point, there is a world where, well, if you're going to keep rotating me in and out, yeah, I'm going to sit. But he's only got 3 games. So he's got a 4th one here. So this game he can do whatever. Moving forward versus Western Kentucky, if you're going to play both of us, either you're going to make me the starter or you're not.
That's how I do it too. I mean, I wouldn't play around unless I'm the guy. And it's also, look, I'll tell you this. I do think prior to this Alabama game, there was some, actually many that wanted him to be the guy going into Alabama. So,
one of them.
Yeah, but it's a frustrating thing to deal with. That's why there's this discussion. And let me ask you this: do you or would you support a 5-5 rule by the NCAA?
Yeah, I would.
So a full 5-5.
Yeah, full 5 years to play, or 5 years to play 5 seasons. Yes.
Oh, I don't know if I can get there.
Why?
Because it's always been 4 years. I mean, that's
Carter. You're not where you always have been. You've been an expansionist, and now when it comes to the players, you don't want to change.
No, I'm not an expansionist when it comes to the playoff. No.
Look at the ACC and you saying that they should get one team in. By the way, they might not.
Well, they're going to get one.
No, they might. They might not. If Duke keeps winning, they might not. It's not the highest. It's not the 5 highest P4 or P4 only. It's the 5 highest conference ranked opponents or conferences. So you could have a situation where you have 2 G5 teams in this Rudy Poo.
Oh, yeah. So it's a G5 champion and then interesting. Yeah. So you could have South Florida winning there and then
and then you could have James Madison win out and you
out the Coach Chesney's. I like him, man. The most popular.
I mean, so again,
you're right.
But see, here's the problem that you sit at the current moment. Look at all the coaching carousel that's going on and everything that's going on in NIL. With players opting out and then you not having anybody, it gives guys like Michael Van Buren not a chance in hell.
Right. So,
because you're doing Michael Van Buren a massive disservice. And here's the thing for the 5-5 rule. From a legality standpoint, Diego Pavia is 47 years old and he's been here for 47 years. Like
he was there at the Gettysburg Address, man, and he's still playing college football.
Brother, he fought in the Revolutionary War.
Oh man, you know what's interesting about
Diego Pavia was in the Mel Gibson Patriot movie.
You know what's interesting about the 5-5 is number one, it used to be a real good deal at Wendy's before inflation.
What were the 5 things that you got?
Oh, dude, I would got to get a Frosty to go in there. But then, you get a cheeseburger, some nugs, fries, Frosty, and then probably double up the nugs. And then they also had the 5-5 at Arby's. They also had that.
I know. I bet you do like the meats.
I mean, you don't like Arby's meats?
I've only eaten Arby's once.
And how was your experience?
Yeah, I hate it.
You've not tried the steak bite, the moose knuckle?
Heavens no. There's only one moose knuckle that I want, and Arby's ain't got it.
I like it. I do. I do. I do. It was good. That's the best pause of all time. I'm not gonna lie. That's a thing of beauty. I might just go. I might just leave. You have all. I never thought you would outpause me. That's the number one goal in my life. So I got to top that at one point in my life. But that is just so random off the top of the dome.
There's only one moose knuckle that I wanted. Arby's ain't got it.
Oh, that's so good. I don't even know if I want to.
All right, let's get into this. What are you thinking about this coaching carousel situation with Brian Kelly and then suing and all that? Like, as you break this down, what are your thoughts?
The Rihanna lyric is what Brian Kelly is telling us right now, and I think a lot of
work.
No, it wasn't that. He should have done more of that, and we wouldn't be in this spot. But it's bitch better have my money. And look, you sign a contract, buyouts are buyouts. Is there a clause in there? Sure, but Blake, I'll be honest. I deal with a lot of like individual contracts. I do wedding DJ stuff off to the side, and I have had brides back out after they've signed a deal with me, and it sucks, right? Once you sign on the dotted line, that's the deal. Right, it's how it works, right? And it's not always a bride; it's sometimes a whatever. But you agree to the contract, you saw, and not getting what you're owed. I totally understand it, but at the same time, you could see a world where coaches and these contracts change for cause, meaning you sucked, you aren't winning the way you should have been winning. So I think that does change. And obviously all of these buyouts, we will see a change in terms of contracts and how we move forward. Now, I will say this, Blake, as much as we talk about 2023 LSU and how much of a waste it was, you now have to look at 2025. LSU not being in the playoff picture at all is crazy, right? You've talked about this on Ruffino and Joe show. There's going to be more than 3 SEC teams that get in. So
more than likely.
Yes. What are you guessing? Probably 5? You can get 5?
I think it might be. I think it could be as low as 3, because if Texas doesn't win one of these 2 games versus A&M or Georgia, they're going to be out. Like if they lose both of them, they're out. What happens with Oklahoma? Do they lose to Alabama? Then Vandy's just sitting there lurking, and if they win out, that they could be in. I mean, there's possibly that they're going to get 4 teams in, yeah.
Right. I would guess it's going to be 4. So the threshold of getting in actually, got wider in theory for SEC teams. And there was a really interesting chart. I don't remember who did it. It blanks me. But I don't know if you've seen this or not. Every year, there's this thing called the Shrine Bowl 1000.
I've seen this.
Okay. So for those that haven't seen this chart, it's how many players are on the Shrine Bowl, which is a college all-star game for you to go to the NFL.
That's right.
So it's like a Senior Bowl. It's a Senior Bowl's main competitor. So they make a list of 1,000 guys that they're looking at. And Blake, LSU is the only team that had 15 or more Shrine Bowl 1000s that won't make the playoff. Like all those, like Texas A&M is in that quadrant. Oregon obviously has a good shot of making the playoffs. We'll see what happens. And obviously Ohio State was somewhere around there. And for LSU to not even be in the conversation, Blake, Theodore, Frederick, Moose Knuckle, Ruffino, that is absolutely insane. So I understand, this is just a random rant as far as Brian Kelly. Yeah, pay him the money that he's owed. But at the same time, this was a colossal waste of a season. And it sucks. It really, really, really does suck that we're not even in the convo.
I think people are reading this a little bit the wrong way, and let me explain.
Okay, yeah.
Them going to court is not over cause. The first time that they're going to court is not over the cause. It's over the judgment that the judge has to pursue and give down an order on, in reference to, did Scott Woodward have the legality to fire him?
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
All right.
If he did, Brian Kelly wins and he gets his money. If he loses and LSU says that he should have gone through the board of supervisors and LSU wins this judgment, shit gets real. And Brian Kelly's going to settle.
And why do you think he would settle after that? Explain
because if that happens, then more in the discovery is going to come out, and then they get in a fight about what he was doing, and he knows what he was doing. And I don't know if he wants all of that out there. I don't know if he wants all of that out there. So I think that all of this is going to get settled one way or another, or maybe they have to pay the whole thing. But regardless, I don't know if I see LSU winning this when it's all said and done. What I do think is that if LSU's not careful and they try to fight this thing and they actually take it to court and they don't have cause, like that's going to be bad. Are you going to expose yourself for NCAA violations in what Brian Kelly was and wasn't doing? That's number 2. Number 3, how do you know that there's cause? You said you fired him with cause. How do you know? Do you have proof? And when you have proof, how did you obtain that proof? So let me give an example. Let's say that he did something legally wrong. You mean to tell me that a sitting now acting AD who already sat on something and didn't report it accurately sat on something else?
Not a good look for a school that's gone through a lot of.
And you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
I had over 170 comments today telling me that the media was the right reason that all of this is a problem, that we're making this worse than it is. LSU fired him for cause, allegedly. The board of supervisors and the governor are saying we fired him for cause. Well, what's the cause? What legally do you have? And if they get to a situation where this does go to court and they win this judgment, good luck. Good luck. You're going to get in a lot of, then let me ask you, let me bring this up. Sir, Lane Kiffin on line 1.
Yes, that's a big thing.
Hey, did y'all cover something up? Did y'all cover something? Are you about to get hit with NCAA sanctions? Because the last time that I went to a school that was about to get investigated by the NCAA was when I left Tennessee for USC.
And even with that,
and this isn't conspiracy theory. This is going, listen, this is going to happen. Everything that I just said is going to happen. So when they say that they fired him for cause, what's the cause?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, there's rumors out there. Okay.
I don't want to get into.
No, I don't want to either, but it's going to come out. And then you have a sitting AD who got suspended from games for an entire year for covering up Title IX allegations. Buddy, what are you talking about? What are we talking about here?
And if I'm hiring a big-time coach and you're fighting as hard as you possibly can to not pay this buyout, how does that look if you are a coach leaving a good, comfy situation to come over to a higher pressure cooker situation? There's that aspect of it where it really, and obviously all that stuff matters, but most people just care about who the next coach is going to be. I mean, this can't really help someone wanting to come over.
No,
not in the least.
Do you think that this is not helping Florida?
Oh, they're happy.
Do you think that this isn't helping Ole Miss?
Oh, it's helping them in a major way. Absolutely.
So again, I asked the question: Carter? I've been told at least 60 times today that I'm overreacting to this situation. And I've asked at least a half a dozen of those. Tell me how I'm overreacting.
No, I mean you're
You
literally
literally are going to court about firing your coach for cause. And by the way, do you know what that means? That means he broke the law, he had an affair, or he was drinking or doing illicit drugs on the job. That's what it normally means. Or was he running some ring operation? That's what it means. Or here's another thing. He got on a motorcycle with his secretary and he wrecked the son of a bitch.
which is going down this weekend.
Which
Welcome
is
back.
going down this weekend. Welcome back, Bobby P.
Yeah, and the girl that
to really interrupt you,
now go on.
I
Keep
don't
going.
think
You're
I
cooking.
don't think LSU fans understand what they're saying, what LSU is saying about firing with cause. I don't think they've processed it yet. I don't think that it's gotten through the minds of LSU fans of what being fired for cause allegedly means. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and here's one more thing, Blake. Even if you're sitting right here and you haven't heard these nasty rumors, I've heard some of them. It's not worthy of being discussed publicly. But here's the thing. There's always something new going on with this story. Right? And for you to think now that we're in, 2 weeks now of
3 weeks. This is the third week.
Right. So since he's been fired, but really, like 3 days after, 2.5 weeks, whatever, of just something new happening every day. You're on this show, Governor Landry, and now is he the AD or that or whatever? There's always going to be something new with this.
By the way, why doesn't Verge have a new contract yet?
I don't know, but he was in Florida today watching those LSU Fighting Tiger soccer players. So, everything.
What's the coaches in Florida that's doing a good job?
Gosh, let's go, bro.
But they weren't in Tampa though. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but the thing is, at this point, because in a perfect LSU fan's mindset, is whenever you hire the next coach, and if it goes well, especially if you win the press conference and actually get a name that everyone loves, you kind of forget about all of this. The problem is, Blake, is that there's something new every single day. And yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone was surprised. I don't think it's the most shocking thing that there's a lawsuit because there's these rumors for cause, reduced buyout, all of that. But there's always going to be something new. We're going to learn something new, if not tomorrow.
Yeah, it's called discovery.
And well, I don't know. I'm interested, and now instead of it sounding like Blake Ruffino's show, it sounds like Emily D. Baker's show.
Let me just bring up this scenario. Let's talk about how this could go as an example. Let's say LSU wins the judgment, okay, and they go to court. If it goes that far, I don't think it is. But let's just say Brian Kelly does not want to settle. It is his decision. Let's just say hypothetically he doesn't. And the one reason for cause is you say that a year ago, Brian Kelly did X, Y, and Z. You held on to that for a year?
Yes. So now you get into the what are you covering up?
So now you get into opening up yourself for NCAA violations.
Don't need any more of those since we've already.
No, I don't. No. Again, I don't think people have processed that situation. By the way, you got to show it in discovery, big dog, before you go to court when you have evidence. So let's say they win the judgment. Guess what they got to do? Guess what LSU's got to do? They got to show in discovery why they fired him with cause. So meaning if Scott Woodward wasn't the one who had the legal authority to fire him and LSU wins, following in those weeks, they have to provide why they're firing him with cause. That opens yourself open for NCAA violations. But I'm overreacting.
No, you're not overreacting.
No, I know the fuck I'm not. I know I'm not.
No, it's I just think where we are right now, Blake, and this is my God's honest opinion on this, is that with the way things have been moving, this is going to become more disastrous, if not less. I'm just not in a spot to say, hey, everything's going to work out at this point.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. I see a lot of people talking about the Greg Brooks situation. Here's where I will defend Brian Kelly. He's not a doctor. And he didn't give Greg Brooks a brain tumor. Newsflash. Newsflash. He did not give Greg Brooks a brain tumor. Okay? So everybody throwing that out there, Ryan Clark going out on the pivot and throwing it back out there, he did not do that. He's not a doctor. And let me tell you something else. To Ryan Clark and everybody else that's out there, when you said that he never went and saw Greg Brooks, you better be careful. You better be careful. That's all I'm going to say on that situation. You better be careful because Brian Kelly's going to come swinging. And I'm going to tell you, to Ryan Clark and all of them, you're going to lose that.
That was a very rare brain tumor. I mean, but you know, I think everybody's praying for
him for that. I mean, come on, Carter. Come on. There's doctors on staff. He's not a doctor.
I'm praying for Greg.
Me too.
Two
things can be true at once. I pray for Greg. My family and I have given to the foundation multiple times. I'm praying for him. I also can think logically and say that a football coach isn't a doctor.
Yeah, and most people thought he had vertigo. As a chance.
The doctors diagnosed it. Brian Kelly didn't diagnose vertigo.
No. But only he can answer if he could have handled things better. But
what do you want him to? I got to be.
I mean, there's an ongoing.
Yeah, but I got to ask the question: what do you want him to handle better?
I don't know. That's why I said only he could answer that. But Ryan's gone after him pretty hard.
Yeah, he has, and he's going to lose. When Ryan Clark here's the truth. When Ryan Clark went out there and said that Brian Kelly did not go and see Greg Brooks, that's a flat out lie. It's a flat out lie. I've tried to challenge him on this and gotten no response. I will go on the pivot. He can come on here. I will challenge him on that when he said it. He's going to lose. You know why I'm so confident? Because I know for a fact that he was there. I'm not guessing.
And then it gets into what did Greg's dad say about it? You know, like
Greg's dad fought over money. If you want to rip that Band-Aid off, they're fighting over money. Remember, they did the foundation. They were fighting over the money, and LSU didn't know who to give the money to. That's also in Discovery, by the way. If anyone wants to read something, it's in Discovery. They fought over the money. They didn't fight over Greg. It's in the Discovery, and they agreed upon that.
It's crazy.
All right.
It's really crazy.
Anyway, I don't even know what to ask you. Any thoughts on the head coaching thing? Do you have anything on that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, I still think, for me, you were talking about the Dan Lanning contract before I came on here. I still think LSU wants to go for a big name, and I think there's a piece of Lanning that would be interested in coming back to the SEC and being a part of LSU. That's just pure speculation on my part, but I've also heard that LSU might be barking up that tree. We'll see. I mean, I don't think he leaves though. Like you said on my show, I don't think he leaves at all.
I don't either.
And then obviously the Lane Kiffin domino is the biggest one. I saw what you said about Jeff Brom yesterday, and then Louisville listened to your show, and then that's what they told me. I have sources at Louisville. They said that AYS guy made me want to go give him his extension.
The truth was LSU started kicking the tires on it, and they got spooked, massively spooked.
So I would not have minded Jeff Brown to be the next LSU head coach
Don't
at all.
disagree. Don't
Yeah.
disagree.
He's
Play
really,
caller.
and he's just a good coach. Right? He seems locked in on the goal, which is of course winning football games, and that of course wasn't Brian Kelly's goal at all times. But what was his goal was to burn timeouts and rotate every wide receiver known to mankind to get some playing time.
Well, see, here's the thing though with that. Why didn't it change with when he was gone?
Blake, I'm wondering the same thing.
You know why? Because he wasn't over it. Cortez Hankton is. The number one thing the two things that Frank Wilson's got to do today, not tomorrow, not in 30 minutes from now, right now. He's got to tell Cortez Hankton he's not over the wide receiver rotation anymore. And then number two, he's got to play Michael Van Buren.
And he's got to fix the timeouts. I mean, you've got to fix that. And that gets into the rotation, right?
It gets into the rotation, the timeout coming out of the second half. Carter, he was rotating guys in with 9 seconds left. That's not on Garrett.
And then the Vanderbilt rotation. On the one.
Completely. So what? Barion got in a scuffle. Who gives a shit? A flag's not thrown.
Well, the big thing wasn't the late sub on that. They also subbed
Aaron Anderson.
Aaron so late on the 1 yard line.
So stupid. But listen, the red zone's got to get cleaned up. And me and you had this conversation off air. I'm going to bring it on air.
Come on.
The sack was argued. The Spinner-Rooney, 5-time Booker T WCW champion Spinner-Rooney. You were right. He did spin out the ball was snapped and he spun out. Garrett had predetermined what he was going to do. Carter, Xavion Thomas, the very next play on the sack is wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, it was there. And LSU, both offensively and defensively, is probably the worst red zone team I've ever seen in the SEC.
Defensively?
Yes, in terms of how easy the touchdowns they've given up in the games that they've lost. It's pretty hilarious.
They're top 20 in the country in red zone defense.
Yes, and that's great. But when it comes to red zone touchdown percentage, it's a little bit different. They're towards the bottom in the SEC. And guess what? You're going to give up touchdowns in the red zone. It's the types of touchdowns they've given up in the red zone. It is so many easy walk-ins in the games that you've actually lost into the first half versus Ole Miss. Walk-in touchdown. Pretty much every red zone touchdown Vanderbilt scored. There are walk-ins outside of the fourth down scrape over the end zone. And then, of course, at the end of the second half versus Alabama, I don't know what that play call was. Ryan Williams was open, and he could make a sandwich before he caught the ball. But then
it looked like something that Cooley was out of coverage because Cooley got pulled on the next series.
That's what it probably was.
But Deshaun Spears came in.
Yes. So there were three. Those three were in the same spot pre-snap. But that's the benefit of just getting to the line of scrimmage and running the next play. And in Blake's defense, Alabama is one of the best end of second quarter teams you'll ever see.
And you held them to 3 points.
Yeah, but obviously
second half.
The main point, though, is the LSU red zone offense is just so bad. And what's funny is, Blake, and I won't get too deep into it. You go to my page and see it. If you actually look at the rush EPA based on where LSU is on the field, when they have been to around that 40 to 40-yard mark, they actually have been fine running the football. They in fact, have been good in that portion of the field. But their stock, the way the charts, this was a chart sent to me by a buddy of mine. The chart goes way down. Their rushing in the red zone is so bad. And it's crazy because they haven't been the absolute worst running team outside of the red zone. They haven't been great. But when they get there, it's terrible. And then, of course, Garrett's interceptions and Van Buren needs to clean up when he gets into the red zone. So
yeah, I'm not hitting him on the red zone right now. I'm not doing it because
well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the next time he's there, he took a really bad sack. So
it's also a horrible play call.
It was a bad play call.
Mm.
I did not like the naked boot on the right hand.
By the way, to the opposite side of his throwing hand.
Yes, against the grain. Yeah. So Ryan says, where does this guy get his stats? You can go to my Twitter account at PowerHourLSU. I'll retweet the study.
Yeah,
if you want.
I think it's interesting because I think they're like 8th or 9th in red zone. Like they're giving up 73% of points the times they get in there. But I get what you're saying. You're talking about the touchdown ratio to
yes.
appearances.
I care about, can you stop them from scoring touchdowns, right? Because if you get into just pure red zone scoring percentage, well, that's field goals included. It's a bigger thing to stop touchdowns. Now, outside of those games, they have been good at stopping touchdowns in the games that they've won. It's just the style of red zone touchdowns they've given up. It's got to get better. Make them have to work when they actually get to that portion of the field. And that's going to be interesting because Arkansas has been a really good red zone design team. And a big reason why is that's when they really let Talon do the zone read stuff that he's really good at. So
let's get into that. Do you think we're getting beat this week?
No, I don't think people realize that this Arkansas locker room is kind of, in free fall, if you will. And I understand there's many out there that would say, well, they'll get up to play this game. This is their biggest game of the season. Well, have a look around versus Texas as well this next week. So, look, I don't think this is one of those situations where you're worried about the LSU locker room being lost. Arkansas isn't really all that great either. And especially if Van Buren plays, you'll have a locker room for LSU that'll be rejuvenated, excited. You're one win away from bowl eligibility. So, and obviously you'll win versus Western Kentucky to get there. But yeah, I think LSU takes care of business. You had one of the best defenses in the SEC versus probably the best offense on a 2-7 team you'll ever see in college football on that other side.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the good news is Talon and this offense has regressed some from where they were at the beginning of the season. And he's a lot like Garrett. He will throw a big INT if the game is tight. So we'll see how that plays out.
I don't think we can score enough.
Oh, versus him. Well, like their defense is diabolical.
Yeah, you know who else? You know who else this is?
Who?
A lot of other teams that you've played.
Yeah, but this one's worse than that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I mean, Carter, if Garrett trots out there, I don't think you can score enough. He's going to find a way.
I think this could be a generational Harlem Berry game. I really do think so.
It could. They're horrible at stopping the run.
Yeah. So, especially his style of running is a lot different than some of the backs.
Do they give him the ball enough?
Yeah, I'd let him tote it. And give. Durham was big in this game last year, but really let Harlem go. A lot of the backs that they have faced are these bigger, more powerful Jeremiah Love kind of types, and he torched him. Kawan Lacey as well. So let Harlem eat. I think this could be a big number 22 game for the LSU Tigers.
I hope that you're right. All right.
All right, buddy.
Peace, buddy. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Cheers.
I took myself out, not Carter. All right. We're out of here. Do we have any super chats or anything? Let me check. No, but we got a lot of members. Wayne, Patrick, and Dennis LeBlanc all became members on the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate it. We have some members-only content on the YouTube channel. Please go and check it out. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.